Good evening. With an objective of establishing peace throughout the world, United Nations Organization was established in the year 1945. And today, if you look at the current situation, there is a war, and the war is on between Russia and Ukraine. If you look at the entire world, no country except Russia wants this war. Russia has got its own demands, and Russia has warned the entire world that if any country enters into the war against Russia, that country will be treated very badly. And the Russian president Vladimir Putin, so he is ready to use even the nuclear weapons according to the news. And if there is any usage of nuclear weapons, the destruction will be much larger, and the impact will be lost for coming many years. That is the reason why every country wants to maintain restraint, and India is no exception now. India basically a peace loving nation. That is the reason why India continuously appealing to both Russia and Ukraine to go for diplomatic talks and resolve the issue rather than continuing the war. But if you look at the current situation, United States of America, it took the lead in United Nations Security Council, and it introduced a resolution. What is this resolution? Let me discuss with you now. But otherwise, if you look at the United Nations Security Council, this is a part of United Nations, one of the important organs of the United Nations. In this Security Council, you have 15 members, 5 permanent members, and remaining 10 non-permanent members. America, UK, France, China, and Russia, these are the 5 permanent members, and remaining 10 members will be elected for a period of 2 years. And each non-permanent member will have a term of 2 years. And please remember, currently, at present, India is a non-permanent member in Security Council. So basically, whenever the war-like crisis appears, or whenever the war actually takes place, the role of Security Council is considered to be very crucial. So in this scenario, America has initiated a resolution, and that resolution is condemning the attack by Russia on Ukraine. During the time, out of these 11 members, out of these 15 members in the Security Council, 11 countries have voted for supporting America's resolution, meaning that is against Russian attack on Ukraine. But the remaining 4 countries, including Russia has used its veto power. As we already know that these 5 permanent members, they have something called veto powers. They can veto any decision that is taken in the Security Council. That is the reason why, though 4 permanent members say yes and 1 permanent member say no, and the result will be no. In this case, what happened? China, which is a permanent member, it abstained from voting, meaning it did not vote and it did not say no or yes. And when it comes to Russia, it used its veto power, meaning nullified whatever the decision that has been taken through this resolution. But what about India? India preferred to abstain from voting because India preferred to abstain from voting, and India was criticized by this Western world. But India is very much firm. Reasons are many. One reason being, India has very close ties with Russia. Russia is considered to be very old friend and good friend of India. That is the reason why, number one, India did not want to go against the against Russia. Number two, by abstaining, according to India, by abstaining from voting, India still kept the doors open for the diplomatic discussions. That is the reason why India is continuously appealing to both Russia and Ukraine to come to the negotiation tables and discuss rather than going for a war. This is what India said. But who will say all these things on India's behalf? Who will vote in the Security Council and who will abstain in the Security Council on behalf of India? That is India's permanent representative to United Nations. Currently, the gentleman is Shri T.S. Tirumurthy. Shri T.S. Tirumurthy, 1985, Indian Foreign Service batch. And currently, he is a permanent member, India's permanent representative to United Nations. And if you look at last year, I told you this point. In Security Council, you have 15 members, and from each country will preside over the Security Council, and the term is 1 month. The term is 1 month on rotation. So in this rotation, in August 2021, India presided over the Security Council, and that president was the Shri T.S. Tirumurthy. So this is how the work will happen. Now, as far as India is concerned, India abstained from voting. That is the point here. And what India is going to do in future, let's look at the news very carefully, and let's follow very carefully what's happening between Russia and Ukraine and what the entire world is saying. If you look at entire Europe, already the people are on the streets protesting against Russia. They are demanding for withdrawal of Russian troops at stopping attack by Russia on Ukraine. People are on the streets in Europe. Maybe if they don't come to the negotiation tables, this will be the agitations will further that will be going ahead, and there is going to be so much of pressure on Russia. But Russia seems that it is not going to yield for any pressure. We need to watch all these developments very clearly and carefully, and we also need to watch the role of India that is played at this particular juncture. Right? As far as Indians who are there in Ukraine, India is safely evacuating our people. India is playing a wonderful role. But at the higher level, how India gives its best to stop this particular war, and what is the role going to be played by India in establishing the peace? Those things we need to follow very, very carefully. Now I would like to show you the document. Kindly have a look at this. Look at this. So this draft resolution sponsored by US has been a failure. India, along with China and UAE, abstained from Security Council resolution, which is sponsored by America and Albania. It happened on February 26th, 2022. Clear, very, very important one. And the demand is to condemn Russian aggression and called for immediate cessation of violence and withdrawal of Russian military from Ukraine. Very, 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 very important one. Meaning, whenever two countries or more countries involved in war, the rest of the world will not maintain any silence. If something is going wrong at some level, that will disturb the international peace. That is the reason why other countries will come out and express their opinions, and every country demands that the war should come to an end with immediate effect. and that is the basic purpose of establishing the United Nations organization, where every organ will play a very crucial role. As expected, the resolution was supported by 11 members and it was vetoed by Russia. And America decided to take the issue to the General Assembly. In General Assembly, all the countries, 193 countries are the members, and there is nothing like any, this veto power in General Assembly. Kindly remember, the concept of veto comes into picture only in the Security Council, where you have 15 members, 5 permanent, 10 non-permanent. Clear? And if you look at India's permanent representative to UN, kindly remember this name, and the name of this gentleman is Shri T.S. Tirumurthy. Very, 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 very important one. And also please remember, when it comes to, in United Nations, this charter, you have chapter 7, and America wanted to invoke chapter 7. If you invoke chapter 7, what will happen? Entire world will be united and that will be fighting against Russia. Meaning, America wanted to take a very drastic and very aggressive step. But after so many rounds of discussions in the Security Council, America changed its stance and the concept of chapter 7 has been dropped and a resolution has been redrafted to condemn the aggression by Russia on Ukraine. And India is open for bringing the two nations onto the negotiation table for the establishment of the peace, and we need to watch these developments continuously. Kindly remember this one. India is always a peace loving nation. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next session.